Well, Toronto Fusion was a busy club on the weekend, taking on the top squads in the under-20 division and opening a few eyes in the process. This is CAF TV. Welcome, everybody. After a week's hiatus due to the long weekend, the teams were back on the pitch in all the supergroups, and we'll have the highlights for you coming up in just a second. Also, Maccabi Canada has enjoyed an incredible summer, really, not just for its play in the under-16 division, but also a 3-week adventure that took them to Israel. And we'll have the Maccabi boys in the studio later on to tell us all about it. But first, CAF Supergroup highlights, and much of the attention in the under-20 division has been on Toronto Youth and Mississauga United. But flying just under the radar had been Toronto Fusion. Well, no more. Fusion made a huge statement on the weekend against the division powers, starting with TYFC. TYFC undefeated on the season so far, but Fusion had designs on changing that. Didn't look good for them early on, though. Joseph Nina penetrating, scoring, and Toronto Youth goes up 1-0. But Fusion refused to be intimidated all day long. Jason Alvarado rings it off the post, but then follows up and puts home the second chance, and the boys in blue knotted up at 1 apiece. TYFC would flex its significant offensive muscle, though. Again, Ali Ahmed does all the heavy lifting. Nina finishes his second of the game, and TYFC goes up by a 2-1 count. Second half, they would pad their lead. Some good work here to get the ball out front. Ali Ahmed will smoke it home, and it was looking like another TYFC win was inevitable, up 3-1, but hold on. Fusion made it 3-2 on a penalty kick, and then 3 minutes later, TYFC handball in the 18-yard box. Alexander Cantasano makes it look easy, and Fusion were all tied up. Gabriel Pizzicarola was the man of the match for Fusion. Here he makes the monster stop on Luis Silva. And yeah, he was some kind of pumped. And the big saves continued as he makes this one from in tight, which kept his boys in the game. And those saves were a turning point, because just moments before the final whistle, Christian Hennef, the gorgeous redirection out front. Incredible. Fusion comes back from 2 goals down. And afterwards, the man with the winning goal stopped by to talk about his team's performance and their never say die attitude against powerful TYFC.
Feels amazing. They played good too, but it just comes down to determination and who wants it to win more. And I think in the second half, we wanted to win. They started slacking. Our boys, we came out losing. We didn't have it in the first half, but second half, never give up. We came in strong and we got the win, 4-3. We were losing 3-1. So it was good to see the boys pick up the intensity, come back and win.
What a great comeback it was, but things got no easier for the boys in baby blue. Any celebration they may have had needed to be short-lived, as the very next day, Fusion had to refocus as they were taking on the second-place squad in the under-20 division, Mississauga United. And this actually rivaled Fusion's game against TYFC for excitement. Back and forth the whole way. Mississauga starts things off. Kyrie Kaur, one of the goals of the week, as he goes through the defenders, and United goes up 1-0. But every time one team scored, the other would answer. Alexander Cantasano, too much for Nico Kokura to handle, and it's a 1-1 soccer game. And then it's Cantasano for Daniel DeRosa, but Kokura coming up with the gorgeous stop right there. Second half, Rashawn Walks with one of the goals of the year. This is absolute perfection from 20 yards out. United going back up top by a 2-1 count. Again, though, Fusion answering back. Michael Thornton, this guy was previously with Real Madrid's academy in Spain. You can see why he knots it up at 2. Soon after, Thornton can't believe his luck as the ball pops right to him, and Fusion goes up 3-2. But these teams were fit to be tied. There was so little separating them. Dante walks to Rashawn for a little brotherly love, his second of the game. That makes it 3-3. That's how it finished. Afterwards, The man with the brace for fusion, Michael Thornton, stopped by and talked about how his squad elevated its play against two of the top teams on the weekend.
Yeah, I think we just really turned the intensity up because we knew that these two teams were really strong teams we were facing. And we just had the hunger coming out to play well and to win. And, we put out a good fight and we got the result. It's unfortunate we didn't get the result today, but it was a tie, so it was a partial result. I think both teams played pretty good. Our team had good moments and bad moments. Near the end, we fell apart at the back, but overall, it was a good game. Any team could have won.
Welcome back to CAF TV. There's something to be said for a defensive masterpiece when two teams tighten the screws and engage in a chess match, refusing to give the other squad any room to maneuver. Well, such was not the case on Saturday when Burlington took on Brampton City in the Under-13 Supergroup. A defensive gem this was not. However, if goal scoring is more to your liking, you're going to love this one. There'd barely be enough time in the whole program to show you every goal from this game, but we'll give you most of them. It was insane. Daniel Pollich starts things off for City, slamming at home to make it 1-0 Brampton, and then it's Aiden Johnson. He says to Pollich, "I'll tumble for you," as he gets taken down, but gets the ball over to his teammate, and it goes, and it's 2-0. Burlington's Rodrigo Vergaro, monster in this game. He rips it past Roman Ceccarelli to cut the lead in half. Andy Lamontagne, though, the mountain man, stopped the first time. Second effort is good. 3-1 Brampton City. Vergaro goes back to work, though. Smashes it off the post and in. And Burlington back within one. It's 3-2. The mountain man, though, Lamontagne, doing a little dance past Nils Forsen. And once again, it's a 2-goal bulge for City. Soon to be 3. Cameron Dunslow, nicely done. 5-2 for Brampton, but both teams were just getting warmed up. Vergaro, already a hat trick on the day for him with that one. It's 5-3, and then Vergaro, could it be? It can. 4 for the young superstar, and suddenly it's a 1-goal game. Before halftime, Dastin Yassin gets in on the fun, and it's all tied up at 5. That was all in the first half of play. Insane. Second half, Vergaro to Gustavo Ayoub, and Burlington has its first lead of the game. Not for long. The mountain man picks up his hat trick, and it's all tied up again. Nicholas Hobenka, City's top scorer, he can't get left out on the fun. He makes it 7-6 Brampton, but Will Kiprov breaks in. He knots it up at 7 apiece. And then Yassin floats in his second of the day to give Burlington back the lead, and they would add 2 more. Brampton added 1 for a 10-8 final. Afterwards, Rodrigo Vergara stopped by to talk about the offensive prowess of his squad on the day.
It's great. Sometimes we don't play as good. Today we played very well. The surface was perfect. All the passes were very good, and I was able to put away my chances.
Well, Sunday saw Burlington back at it against Jenga. Now, the boys from KW had been riding a wave of confidence since their stellar semifinal finish at last month's Iber Cup in Spain, a tournament featuring some of the top clubs from around the globe. On this day, though, they just couldn't match the intensity that Burlington brought to the pitch. And Burlington coming off a game in which they scored 10 goals. Not as many this time, but they were dominant early on. The boys in orange pressing. Gustave Ayoub manages to tip it in past the keeper. 1-0 Burlington. Moments later, more from them. Rodrigo Vergaro out front to Dastin Yassin. No chance for the keeper. Didn't even move, and it's a 2-goal bulge for B-Town. They would make it 3 before halftime. Vergaro, coming off a huge 5-goal game the day before, adds to his weekend tally. Second half of play, Burlington continues to roll. Yassin just kind of redirects it home here, and it was 4-0 at that point. Now, Jenga does get one back right here, so it finished up 4-1. Will Kiprov joined us after the game and talked about his squad's play and another big win.
I think we played really good. We had very good ball movement and playing throughout the midfield. We had a very good, especially in the first half. We moved the ball around very well and got it to striker's feet. Other than that, I think we dominated the game a lot, and we didn't give them many chances.
Okay, Lions United taking on Bree Academy in under-16 action. Great early chance for the Felines as Javon Gary steals, tackled in the box. That leads to a penalty kick. Anthony Ferreira will slam it past the keeper to make it 1-0. Second half now, Lions pressing off the corner kick. Lucas Ferreira can't let his brother have all the fun. He puts home the second effort. Lions cruise to the 2-0 win over Bree Academy. To the under-20s, we move Chantilly against Canadian. Chantilly missing a great early chance as Mohamed Shamki gets denied by the Canadian keeper on the penalty. Second half, though, Chantilly does break the ice. Israel Perrin dribbles it home right here from in tight and then showing off the moves afterwards. Smooth Israel. Chantilly up 1-0, but Canadian evens it up somehow. Not sure who it went off, but tied at 1 apiece. And then the boys from Hamilton would ultimately get the game winner, though. Great work from Tapiwa Madzarahona. Hope I got the pronunciation right. He steals. Mohamed Shamki scores. Chantilly holds on for the 2-1 win. And Canadian still yet to nab its first win in CAF play this season. Welcome back to CAF TV. As promised, the gentlemen from Maccabi Canada are joining me here in the studio. Head coach Jason Malsberg, and actually, I didn't even get a position for you yet, Josh, but Josh Bowman is joining us as well. And guys, welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having us.
And what position, by the way?
Left fullback.
Left fullback. And Josh has been having a fantastic season, as has the whole team, actually. A lot of exciting stuff going on with Maccabi. Sir, Maccabi, you taught me the proper pronunciation. I've got to make sure I say it properly with Maccabi so far. But first, guys, welcome to the studio. Tell us a bit about Maccabi and what exactly Maccabi Canada is.
Maccabi Canada is part of the global Maccabi movement, which is the Jewish Olympic movement. Maccabi Canada, every 4 years, sends athletes to Israel to compete in the Jewish Olympics, which is where we're just coming back from. Maccabi Canada also has local programs, including a very competitive soccer program for youth players, as well as the men's team, which I've been running for the last 17 years or so as well in the Toronto area.
Right, so for boys and girls, though?
Just boys, and we've
boys.
got, again, a few select teams. We're not designed to be the biggest academy program going. We've got 4 teams, that's
right.
it. An under-16 team, an under-13 team, an under-10 team, and an under-8 team, as well as the men's
The
team.
reason why I mentioned girls is because looking at your website, I noticed there were sports featuring all different girls. So not just for other
Absolutely.
sports, though. It's both genders.
100%.
Absolutely. Okay, so what I'd mentioned off the top was they just got back from a very exciting event. It took place in Israel, and we're going to be showing you some footage of what the Maccabi boys were doing in Israel. But I'm going to let Josh take it away and tell us why you guys were actually there then.
Yeah, it was a great experience. You know, I loved going there. It was my first time in Israel. I thought, you know, my whole family was there supporting me, my friends, and it was really fun to meet people from around the world that shared the same values as I did.
Right. And this was for the Olympics.
It was for the Maccabi Games.
The Maccabi Games. Yeah, and tell us about that, because you guys were playing countries from, I mean, obviously from all over the world taking part in this. So the soccer tournament was huge, wasn't it?
So first off, the Maccabi Games are held every 4 years in Israel. It's the 3rd largest sporting event in the world behind the Olympics and the University Summer Games.
Right.
There were 10,000 athletes from 80 different countries. And the soccer competition on a global level is always tops. We had 12 teams in the under-16 category where we were competing. You know, soccer powerhouses like Italy, Germany, England, Israel, Argentina, Brazil, US, and Mexico, and then you've got smaller soccer nations like ourselves, Venezuela, etc.
But you acquitted yourself very well, didn't you? Tell us how you guys did.
So there was two groups of 6, 5 games in the preliminary round. We played against Brazil, Great Britain, and a few other teams. We ended up winning the group, and then moving on to a very tough semifinal match against the U.S., which we lost in extra time. And then we played the U15 Israeli national team for the bronze medal and came up a bit short, but we finished 4th, which is the best finish ever for a Canadian team.
Experience of a lifetime, though, huh?
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And not surprising you guys would do so well over there because, of course, anyone who's watched Maccabi so far in under 16 action in CAF Supergroup play the only remaining undefeated team in the under 16 group. It would be fair to say you guys are happy with your performance so far in CAF this year. Maybe Coach just talk about that.
Yeah, no, we're very happy with our performance. We've had a lot of injuries, so doing as well we've done year to date. Thrilled with how it's going. We've got a tough season ahead still, a lot of back-to-back weekend games, which are always challenging, but we're looking forward to it. And
you mentioned to me, we did a little pre-interview chat on the phone, and you'd mentioned that typically when you come back from events like these, there's just a little bit of a letdown that you guys are going to have to work on. Do you know what Coach is talking about here?
Kind of.
A little bit, so just maybe talk about that and the mental aspect these kids need to have.
Yeah, again, it's always tough coming back from a top tournament, getting back into the swing of things. You've just come through a huge emotional high. And of course, the pressure of the CAF games aren't the same as playing in Israel for a bronze or a silver medal.
Not quite.
So again, it's getting the guys back into shape. We played a lot of games in Israel too, so there's a lot of fatigue, getting them back going and motivated to finish off the season strong.
Right. How have you enjoyed playing in CAF so far, and what do you think of the team's play?
Yeah, sure. I've loved it. I think I like the fields. I like playing on the fields. I like, videoing the video of the games.
Right.
I think the competition is also very good.
Right. And what do you think about the competition, Coach, so far from what you've seen in
Competition's excellent. So, we're thrilled with playing in the U16 Supergroup.
Right.
Top teams, they've all been vetted, so every game's a close, tight game, which is a nice change for us.
How long have you been with Maccabi for? Because you guys have an association for a little while, don't you? Him as your coach. Just talk about that and your association with the club.
Yeah, so it's been about 7 years. I love Jason as a coach. I think we'll keep him.
We'll keep him.
He trains us very well. We're all looking to get better.
Right.
And
what does Josh bring to the field?
Josh brings a great outside left foot, strong technical player, good read of the game, great penetrating balls, and then a consistency. Again, coaching him and others for 7 years, he's got a consistency game in, game out over the 7 years that it's hard to replicate.
Guys, amazing experience. So glad you guys came on to tell us about it. And looking forward to seeing you guys get back in action next weekend again in league play, because it's been a layoff of about 6 weeks now. So thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very
for
much.
being here. And if anyone wants to find out more, MaccabiCanada.com is the website. More CAF TV coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to CAF TV. To the open group we go now. Toronto, Croatia taking on Rise. Now for the Croats, it was a shot at redemption on opening day. Toronto dropped a tight game to Rise, shocking many observers in the process who weren't expecting the traditional powerhouse to go down to a first-year squad. But Rise has shown over the past couple of months that win was no fluke, as they've rolled to some big results, and we're hoping to drop the Croats for a second straight time. So Croatia with revenge on its mind Saturday, and they nearly strike early on. Yuri Glavina, speed down the wing here. Glavina had a heck of a game. Beats the keeper here, but rings it off the goal post. But soon after, the Croats do break the ice. And it is Mr. Glavina taking the feed here from Denis Poric. Easy little tap in. And it's 1-0 for Croatia, and they would add to it. Glavina again. Deflection off the corner kick. Sweet. 2-0 TO Croatia. And Yuri would get the hat trick in the first half. The Rise goal kick doesn't have the legs. Glavina makes the keeper pay. And Glavina 3, Rise 0. But the Greens do get one back before the break. Right out front, in it goes 3-1. But the Croats would extend their advantage in the second. Pretty sure this is Mateo Bezlic making it look easy. Croatia, big win, 4-1. Afterwards, Ivan Giron weighed in on his team's performance, and it was tough to find many negatives in their play.
We started off really well. We had possession a lot, so that helped. They came up with high pressure, but at the end of the day, we tried to wait it out, counterattacked, and it was in our favor. So we just tried to do what we can, and got lucky with the result. It was a good game, and everyone played a great game. So
Okay, Atomic neck and neck with Croatia for first place in the open group, taking on Clarkson, and it was all Atomic in this one. Early on, Ivan Sozanski out front flicks it in, 1-0 for Toronto. Second half of play, they would add to it the cheeky little backdoor play to William Brezeno. Right there, 2-0, Toronto Atomic. Clarkson, however, showing some fight, sloppy coverage from Atomic out front. Laszlo Cacchioni takes full advantage. Clarkson cuts the deficit in half, but Atomic was just too much. They make it 3-1, then Eduardo Sanchez goes bar down, 4-1. Clarkson manages to get one back on a penalty right at the final whistle here, but Atomic gets the points. According to Eduardo Sanchez, practice makes perfect.
I'll work a lot in the week, practice, and I think that is good to in the week to practice, and in the game do good things. And this is the answer with all the things that do.
Okay, an under 13 showdown. Undefeated CAQ taking on second place One Touch. This game lived up to the hype. Dorian Shannon charging through to Lucas Nieto to Christian Kazishin out front. Pretty passing, boys. And it's 1-0, One Touch, and they come oh so close to a second. Keep an eye on the keeper here as, whoops, right through the hands, but it slides just wide of the post. But CAQ undefeated for a reason this year. You knew they would push back. Free kick. It's going to pop right to Michael Mancuso, and yep, it's all knotted up at one apiece. Second half of play now, and how nice would this have been? Kazishin from 32 yards out. Oh, baby. Just off the bar, though, so close. And then it's Gabriel Given's turn to have a little bobble here, but he gets bailed out by his defender to preserve the time momentarily and set up the dramatic finish just before the final whistle. Lucas Neto from the ridiculous angle threads it in, and OTS understandably goes nuts. What a game it was. OTS hands CAQ its very first loss of the season, downing them by a 2-1 count. Okay, CAF countdown, top 5 plays of the week before we go. Number 5, Rodrigo Vergara had a game against Brampton City, notching 5 goals. This was the best as he tucks it under the bar. Number 4, wicked passing by One Touch Academy against CAQ on Sunday. Tic-tac-toe with Christian Kazishin providing the finish. Part of a big 2-1 OTS win. Number 3, Fusion had a great weekend. This was the winner against Toronto Youth in the dying seconds. Christian Hanif with the dagger to hand TYFC their first loss of the season. And number 2, Fusion was getting it done in goal as well. Gabriel Pizzacarola, several massive saves, none bigger than that one in the last minute of the game against TYFC. And number 1, it was tough to argue with this one. Mississauga's Rashawn Walks, clinical. I mean, take another look. He actually makes this one look easy from 20 yards out. Gorgeous. And that is definitely our CAF play of the week. And that's all the time we've got for this week. Just remember, you can always head to cafsoccer.com to keep up to date regarding all the events in the Canadian Academy of Football. And of course, all the social media outlets are there for you to check out as well. Thank you so much for watching, folks. And we'll see you next week for more CAF TV.